Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel today, guys, because there is plenty coming your way. Of course, we're going to have full reaction to Barca's Europa League draw as we are going to be facing off against Napoli. We're going to be talking about our ambitions in that competition and, of course, also some build-up ahead of the Maradona Cup on Tuesday as Barca face off against Boca Juniors in a game there which will see Dani Alves make his return as a Barcelona player. It's all coming up today, so let's get to it. But if we first of all start with the Europa League, and this right here is the playoff round, because what that means is that the 8 runners-up from the Europa League group stage will now play the 8 teams that drop down from the Champions League this season, with the winners then of these playoff matches progressing to the Europa League round of 16 stage. So this is effectively like the old round of 32 in the Europa League, because the likes of Lyon, Leverkusen, West Ham, 8 teams there are all waiting to see who is going to make it through. And coming into this draw, our possible opponents were Rangers, Lazio, Braga, Dinamo Zagreb and Olympiacos. But the team that Barca drew, because with Barca, nothing ever comes easily. We've got the toughest draw of all. Barca will face Napoli in the Europa League. And I do have to say that straight away you're looking at that clash there, and that almost seems like a Champions League tie that's taking place in the Europa League. 2 very historic teams, and this, of course, is a repeat from the Champions League round of 16 clash from 2020. That was the last time that Barca won a game in the Champions League knockout stage, and even then, we very barely got through in that encounter. A wonderful Lionel Messi goal that sealed it there at the Camp Nou. But I think if there's one thing that this difficult draw brings us here as Barcelona fans, we are under no illusions now. You've got to take this competition seriously. We are not good enough right now. We're not playing well enough to be looking down on anyone, on any competition, on any team. To beat Napoli, we are going to have to be at our best, take this seriously, and only then can we come through? Because Napoli had a truly stunning start to the season in Serie A. They won 8 successive games at the beginning of the season. They led the table for a long period. Since then, they have dropped down to 4th in Serie A. They do, though, have the best defence in the league, with only 13 goals conceded in 17 games, and they finished up there just about in the Europa League in Group C, behind Russia's Spartak Moscow. And I think, of course, coming into this game, confidence among Barca fans, it's not high. You know, again, we're not exactly expecting the world here, but what I would like to point out very, very quickly is that these games, they're not going to take place until February 2020. The first leg there is going to be coming on the 17th of February at the Camp Nou, and then the second leg will be played on the 24th of February. So what we will have is a nice amount of time, over 2 months there until these clashes take place, which means a number of things. You'll have players returning from injury, a lot of players, 2 key ones, Ansu Fati, Pedri and the like. You would also be hoping that Barca had made some January signings, and of course you also got the fact now that we can register the likes of Abde, Dani Alves to play in the Europa League. So things for me will look very, very different by the time we get to these games. And I think certainly when you're looking at the Europa League as a whole, and indeed this clash against Napoli, it is so important that we actually get through this and we actually take this tournament seriously on so many different levels. Number one, the finances. We lost around 20 million euros there as a club, which is money we can't afford to lose anywhere right now by failing to qualify for the knockout stages in the Champions League. Money that we already accounted for. We expected to get there, and as a result now, we're playing catch-up. We need to go deep into this competition to get anywhere close to that money back, and it is so, so important that we do that right now. I also look at the Europa League, guys, and I look at our young players and the players who are coming through there, and I just think right now it's good experience, because at the end of the day, these are still big European games. Going away to Napoli in a knockout European tie, it's still really, really valuable experience for these young players who are going to play in high-pressured games, especially if you go deep here, if you get into semi-finals, the final perhaps. Think about what they could learn from those experiences. And if we are being honest right now, the number one pull of the Europa League, the number one objective has to be getting back to the Champions League. We all know that the winner of the Europa League qualifies directly into the Champions League draw for next season. It would also give us a place in the UEFA Super Cup. That would also be nice there to play in a final match against the Champions League winner. And I think when you are looking at our league position right now, and especially the form of the teams ahead of us, you would look at the Europa League and say, it's going to be tough. There are difficult teams to face. But maybe you could argue it's one of the better paths back to the Champions League. But of course, guys, those Europa League games are not going to be coming until next year. So right now, let's focus on the present. And indeed, tomorrow, Barça are back in action. We'll be facing up there against Boca Juniors in the Maradona Cup, live from Saudi Arabia, in what is there a game to be played in honour of the great Diego Maradona, who of course sadly passed away last year. It's a meeting there between two of his former clubs. And of course you could also argue that our Europa League clash against Napoli could also very much be in Maradona's memory. And I think the first thing that you would say about this friendly game, it's a very, very quick turnaround. The squad there travelled out to Saudi Arabia just this morning, and by the time we play this game, it would have left just a 48-hour gap between games. And I think especially given our injury situation, the fact here we want to keep the players in the best condition possible, that is not ideal preparation time in the slightest. But what I'm sure we're going to see from Xavi is a rotated team. We're going to see a very different lineup, I'm sure, for the team that faced Osasuna. It's not easy to do that given the fact we don't have an abundance of players available, but you would expect to see plenty of Barça B players, because when you're looking here at the squad that Xavi has chosen to take to Saudi Arabia, you can see a number of those young players who'll be looking to snatch any opportunity. And it should be noted as well that although Abde is not on that squad list, it is not there because of any injury at all. He is absolutely fine following his really impressive display against Osasuna. The only reason he's not there is because of a bureaucratic issue that's meant that he could not travel with the team to Saudi Arabia. And of course the big name that really does stand out, Dani Alves, is in the squad. He is on the plane and he is set to make his second debut as a Barcelona player. And truly, guys, I cannot wait for that. Because whether it's a friendly game or not, I think seeing Dani Alves back out on the field again in a match with the Barca shirt on, that is what we all want to see. And I think it's also really important there, looking ahead now to January the 1st, when of course he can come back and can be registered to play in all of these competitions. It's important here for his preparation. We know that he's a fantastic trainer. We know that he conducts himself really well on the training ground, but there's nothing quite like matches, like getting back into the swing of things there and really preparing himself to be thrown headfirst back into the action on January the 1st, because I really do think he's a player Xavi needs. And indeed, speaking there about a player that Xavi will need, if there was one other player, especially a young player there, that I had to highlight for a real opportunity in this game, it would be Mika Marmo. We have spoken about him there in the past over on MORETALKFCB. He's a 20-year-old left-footed centre-back there who's really impressed this season for Barcelona B. He actually scored for them on Sunday, and Xavi is said to be a really keen admirer of this young man. And I do feel, especially with our struggles at centre-back, especially on the left side, surely it's not going to be long until we see this man given an opportunity in the first team, and against Boca Juniors, he may have his time to shine. And I think indeed, guys, overall what we are going to be hoping for in this game is, number one, please no more injuries. Like I said, it is a quick turnaround. It's not exactly ideal here to be going away and playing a friendly in the middle of an important week that it is for Barca. Please, 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 no more injuries. But I think number two, what we do have to do here is just take advantage of another game with Xavi, a game here with less pressure than others. He can have a real good look at what he's got, again, work on some more things with the team. And I think hopefully, if we could maybe win the game, if we could maybe score a few goals, get that confidence going again, get that belief back in the team right now. We know we're going through a struggling time. We know that things aren't easy, so let's take it upon ourselves here to get a decent result, put in some good performances, and hopefully as well, the players who get their opportunities in this team show what they can do and give Xavi a selection headache. So please, guys, do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on everything that we have discussed in today's video. First of all, of course, I really want your reaction on Barca's draw against Napoli in the Europa League. How are you feeling ahead of that game? And of course, remembering that it's not going to be for another 2 months. We will have time to get our squad in a much better state. Please also let me know your thoughts ahead of the friendly game against Boca Juniors tomorrow. I will see you, of course, for full reaction following that one. Thank you for watching, guys, and thank you indeed for getting involved. But until next time, as always, Vishka El Barça!